Ever since the Korean plane crash at the end of last year, it's as if Pandora's box has been opened, triggering a wave of events that have continued into 2025. In the video we discussed about the Korean crash, we warned that 2025 would bring a violent and chaotic energy, urging everyone to exercise caution when traveling. Unfortunately, this prediction seems to be unfolding in a hauntingly accurate way. In the skies, we've seen a series of tragic aviation errors. One of the most heartbreaking was the collision between an American Airlines passenger jet and a military helicopter near Washington, D.C. This incident resulted in 14 lives being lost, including 2 teenage figure skaters, Jinna Han and Spencer Lane, their mothers, and 2 Russian world champions, Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov. They were returning from a national development camp when the helicopter flew into the plane's path, leading to the crash in the Potomac River. What makes this incident particularly tragic is that the victims were beloved members of the figure skating community, and their deaths have left a gaping hole in the hearts of many. This isn't the only aviation mishap we've witnessed. On January 28, 2025, a US F-35 fighter jet crashed during a training exercise in Alaska due to a suspected engine or control system failure, though the exact cause is still under investigation. Thankfully, the pilot ejected safely, but the aircraft was severely damaged. The F-35, known for its stealth capabilities, has been the subject of numerous reports about mechanical failures, raising questions about the reliability of such advanced military technology. We've also seen incidents involving civilian aircraft. In January 2025, a Thai Airways flight suffered a catastrophic failure during its descent, forcing the pilots to perform an emergency landing. Fortunately, no lives were lost in that case, but the incident raised alarms about the state of aviation safety in Southeast Asia, where several airlines have come under scrutiny in recent years. On the ground, the chaos continues. In Washington, D.C., an incident occurred near a popular skating rink that left several people injured. The crash, which took place in late January, involved a car that suddenly swerved off its path and drove directly into a crowd gathered outside the rink. The driver, later identified as a 28-year-old man named Alexander Grant, was apprehended shortly after the incident. It was revealed that he had a history of mental health struggles, including recent episodes of depression and paranoia. Witnesses reported that the car sped through the street, barely missing pedestrians before crashing into a group of people standing outside the rink. The collision caused panic, and several bystanders were knocked to the ground or hit by the vehicle, resulting in injuries ranging from broken bones to concussions. Thankfully, no one died, but the victim's trauma was profound. Grant, after being detained, revealed during questioning that he was experiencing severe emotional distress, exacerbated by recent personal losses. Meanwhile, in Germany, the chaos took a more lethal turn. In early February, a shooting unfolded in the bustling downtown area of Munich, near a popular shopping district. At least 6 people were confirmed dead, and several others were injured after a lone gunman, later identified as a 35-year-old former military officer named Michael Weber, opened fire at a crowded outdoor cafe. The motive for the attack is still being investigated, but early reports indicate that Weber had a history of disgruntlement, stemming from his military service and difficulties in reintegrating into civilian life. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic, with people ducking for cover as shots rang out in quick succession. Weber, who had legally obtained his firearm, was reportedly agitated and shouted about revenge before beginning his attack. Authorities are still piecing together the timeline of the incident, but it appears that Weber targeted random individuals with no clear connection between the victims. Police responded quickly, but Weber managed to escape the scene on foot before engaging in a violent confrontation with law enforcement. In the ensuing standoff, he was shot and killed by police. Investigations revealed that Weber had been suffering from PTSD and had reached a breaking point, which, combined with his deep frustration with his personal life, may have pushed him to carry out the senseless attack. And if that weren't enough, the chaos has spread to the seas as well. A massive carrier crash occurred in January 2025, where a U.S. military aircraft carrier collided with a large commercial ship off the coast. The incident resulted in a number of casualties, both military and civilian, and raised concerns about the safety of military vessels and their ability to navigate busy maritime routes. The crash also triggered a series of investigations into military preparedness and the condition of naval fleets. In addition to these, there have been several other aviation tragedies, such as the crash of a Ukrainian cargo plane in January, which killed all 5 crew members aboard. A crash in India also occurred earlier this year, where a domestic flight experienced catastrophic failure, causing a fatal crash landing that resulted in the deaths of nearly 30 people. So, what is the cause for all these? If you're not into spiritual explanations for these recent events, there are some scientific ideas to consider. One theory is that strange weather patterns, possibly due to climate change, might be causing more accidents. Extreme weather like storms or sudden temperature changes could affect both air travel and safety on the ground. Another idea, especially in the US, relates to decisions made by figures like Elon Musk. Some believe that Musk's work with Donald Trump to reduce government spending led to cutting staff in key areas. For example, airports may have once needed more people to ensure everything runs safely, but now, with fewer workers, there might not be enough staff to handle the workload properly. In some cases, tasks that used to be managed by 2 people might now be done by just 1, and that person could be facing lower wages. While this is just a theory with no solid proof, some believe that the lack of enough staff could be contributing to the rise in accidents. Another theory I want to throw out there comes from my own imagination. Could the recent increase in UFO sightings be linked to these incidents? It's possible that these UFOs might have disrupted the flight or landing of planes. We all know how fast those light bulbs in the sky can move. If a UFO were to zoom in front of a plane and start zigzagging, it could be like an F1 car weaving in and out in front of slower, antique cars, leading to a crash. Now think back to before the election, when Donald Trump mentioned in his podcast with Joe Rogan that he might reveal government secrets if he got elected. Could some of those secrets have to do with UFOs or aliens? If so, could the recent rise in accidents be a warning from alien life? Maybe they're trying to send a message to keep certain information from being revealed. It's interesting to consider that many of these incidents seem to be happening in the US, which is also where the most talk about UFOs is happening. We also know that a lot of prophecies talk about big revelations in 2025 and 2026. Who better to reveal these secrets than the US president himself? After all, Trump already confirmed in podcasts that UFOs do indeed exist. Could these accidents be connected to a larger story that we might soon hear more about? But the best explanation should be the spiritual explanation. I'd like to quote a significant individual who predicted these events. Kamela, a spiritual medium known for her channeled messages and intuitive insights, shared her vision and dreams regarding significant world events on TikTok, followed by a detailed discussion in a longer YouTube video. With a background in wellness retreats and a deep focus on spiritual and emotional growth, Kamela offers guidance to help others navigate challenging times. Through her intuitive abilities, she felt the dense energy that caused all these events. I'll provide a summary for her video, and I'll link the original video below, so those who are interested can have a look. In the longer YouTube video, she begins by sharing an intuitive dream that inspired her to create a TikTok video, which gained a lot of attention. The video discussed a heavy energy in the collective, suggesting that something significant may soon happen, something many people may be feeling since January or February. She stresses that this message is not meant to spread fear, but to raise awareness and prepare for what's ahead. In the previous video, Kamela had shared intuitive insights about possible disruptions, like travel issues and multiple plane crashes, which ended up happening in late January. She clarifies that the goal is to provide insights, not to exploit tragedies, and to help others manage collective stress and uncertainty. She then dives into her dream, describing a dark ocean with heavy, pulsing waves that evoke a sense of fear. This energy is tied to recent seismic activity in Greece, where she had planned a retreat but decided to delay it after sensing something was off. And she tells us the importance of trusting one's intuition, even when it doesn't make immediate sense. She encourages us to do the same and trust our intuitions. She also stresses the importance of writing down intuitive insights and dreams, noting how dreams can often reflect deep societal shifts. The dream also includes an image of a man in black, wearing tactical gear, seemingly stalking a prominent US political figure. While Kamela is not predicting an immediate attack, she feels that these types of dreams could indicate planned events or threats. The dream also involved political figures creating legislation that could spark protests or revolts, pointing to growing tension in society and politics. Next, Kamela shares specific astrological dates that could be important, starting with March 1st, when Venus enters retrograde in Aries. This period is about reassessing personal values, relationships, and finances, as well as addressing unresolved emotional issues. She believes the collective will begin receiving more intuitive downloads during this time, which could heighten emotional sensitivity and increase the need for introspection. Another key date is March 30th, when Neptune enters Aries for the first time in over 150 years, a major astrological event that could signal societal upheaval, similar to the shifts during the Civil War. This energy could be linked to protests or political activism, particularly related to government decisions. She also highlights April 8th, the date of a total solar eclipse that will be visible across North America. This event could bring political turbulence, as eclipses often herald dramatic changes or shifts in leadership. She mentioned her personal experience from the previous year's eclipse, emphasizing how powerful these moments can be. Lastly, she notes May 20th, when Jupiter will conjunct Uranus in Taurus, possibly bringing sudden and unexpected changes, especially in global affairs, the economy, or national security. Her recurring dream about a potential political attack and national security events aligns with these astrological predictions. As we move into 2025, it's clear that the year ahead will be turbulent and chaotic, filled with challenges that may feel overwhelming at times. But through it all, trust in your intuition and stay grounded. The changes we're witnessing are not meant to bring violence or destruction, but to usher in transformation and growth. Stay calm and embrace the shifts.